Hey, Steve Zook, welcome back to Polkzoo Channel. Hey, I've got kind of a couple little things I want to talk about real quickly today. This is in the tuning where I call it a flamenco tuning, where you make the D, you make the low E a D and the G string an F sharp. But what I want to talk about is what is Polkzoo Channel to me and what is playing guitar and composing to me. Folks, music and guitar is freedom to me. The Polkzoo Channel is an expression of my freedom. I kind of just like to do what I feel like doing. I also do sell guitars off of it. But I just want to make a couple of comments, and I'm not making this in a real critical, judgmental way, but I had a comment a while back from somebody that said, gee, I just see a lot of lore stuff. How come you don't have more made in Japan vintage guitars? It's like, I guess some people just don't understand. You can't just make a phone call, There's not a phone number where you just call to get great vintage made in Japan, guitars that sound great, that are the special ones. The stuff that I find is very hard to find. And when I find it, that's why I always tell people, I'm not being a salesman. When I find that stuff, grab it while you can, because the stuff that I find oftentimes takes months to find. And even a lot of the made in Japan guitars, some of them are really special, and some of them just are kind of blah, But yeah, one of the things about my Polkzoo channel is to create a community to help sell my lower arch tops, because I happen to believe that they're a tremendous value. In fact, I recently sold a couple 700s. I need to get another one, and I'm one of the only dealers that actually holds the guitar and plays it and makes sure that I feel it's special. And the ones I recently sold have some very, very special wood on them. It's not easy to get them like that. But the thing is, like I said, I actually play the guitars and get to know them. But my Polkzoo channel is really kind of like a sharing thing and a community thing. I have a lot of free instruction. It's all obviously to promote my guitar ladder system, which is 240 studies, including, if you order and I approve it, there's some bonus material. It's 240 studies with chart and video for each study. You learn the 10 different systems of improvisation. You learn to improvise, which is a fertile soil of compositional skills, and you'll learn to recognize and discover your own unique harmonic point of view. But yeah, the stuff that I get, when I say a guitar is rare and it's hard to find, I'm not kidding, folks. That's why, a while back I sold a really cool Talking Mini. But if you see something on my Polkzoo channel, because it's probably also advertised on Reverb, but when I say something's rare, I'm not kidding. It's really hard to find this stuff. And you ask anybody who's been playing for 30 years or more, a real player, a great player, they'll let you know too. Yeah, the great guitars are very, very few and very far between. But anyway, yeah, the Polkzoo channel is a kind of a combo thing to me. It's an expression of my freedom. It's an expression, it's a place to become aware that I'm somebody you can buy a lower arch top from. And I've got an unbelievable couple of really nice 600s right now, which are all solid wood. And I've got a really good 650. And I've also got, a couple of the 175 style LH280s. But yeah, and then so it's really about that, and I'm really getting into this tuning here. I think I'm going to do just to talk a little bit about technique, because it's so important. You work technique every day. But yeah, if you practice correctly, folks, you don't even know you're making progress in your art. Let me give you an example. So if I go like this. Hear the accent? Bam, bam, bam. I'm building technique when I do that, and I think a lot of people don't realize that you don't have to blaze through something to build technique. It's just the opposite. Every time you do something slow and clean, especially if you play saxophone, just simple things like this. That accent, that's really important, because the accent gives your right hand kind of a reference point, technically speaking. And It will help you develop phrase memory. It's very, very powerful. So I think a lot of people just don't. I spend a lot of time doing simple things like this. Whoops. See, it's kind of hard to talk and do this at the same time. But yeah, repetition is the mother of mastery, and most people really need to work on the right hand. It's a lot of hard work to develop your right hand. But anyway, yeah, guitar and composing music is really my life. A big, huge part of it. Maybe I need to be a little more in balance, but I don't know. It makes me happy. I've got other projects I'm working on. By the way, I'm looking for investors for CoffeeChannel.com. I just turned down $500,000, and that's not bullshit, because this investor was crazy, basically, and that's just not where. It's hard to turn down money, but if somebody's going to ruin a project or, you know, cause risk for other investors, I don't want their money. So this is going to be big. I've just recently made some new contacts that are very powerful, but if you're a sophisticated investor, minimum investment is $250,000 to $500,000. Total capitalization is $5 million, but it's going to be a social network. It's going to create a new category of a social network, a much more artistic social network based on a $90 billion a year industry, which is coffee. We're going to promote unknown musicians and actually help them, not screw them like most companies. It's going to really be cool. It's going to allow people to, you know, make friends, and everybody loves coffee, and there's no really friendly social network out there that's more artistic. So this is going to be huge. Any interest, you can call me. But it is a startup. But I've shared this idea with some very heavy people like Bill Hudson, who produced Father of the Bride with Steve Martin. I met him buying some high-end studio gear, Hafler 9505 power amps in his studio. He loved the idea. It's a very, very solid idea, because you're not going east looking for a sunset. It's based on a $90 billion a year industry, coffee. My branding statement, by the way, is linking the world one cup at a time. If you have any interest, call me, email me. I'm at 714-548-0385, and that's 714, plane just went by, 714-548-0385, or email me, stevezook7@yahoo.com. That's STEVEZOOK, the number 7, not spelled out. Just the number 7, stevezook7@yahoo.com. But if you're an investor and you've got, you know, some people are afraid of a startup, but that's where the massive returns are going to be, especially this, because it creates a new category of a social network, and it's going to connect with people. It's going to help people. It's going to have the cool factor, because it's going to promote great unknown musicians, and we're not just going to allow anybody on it. They've got to have some real talent, but it's going to create some good karma. It's going to help people and help people make friends and talk about coffee. It's an idea that has everything it needs. It's got massive brand equity. Coffee is the second largest commodity in the world at $90 billion a year. So, in the interest, call me. But again, developing techniques, simple things. Just keep it simple, clean, and place accents. All right, folks. I love this tuning, which is you make the low E a D, and you make the G string an F sharp, and it really gives you some nice nice chord. All right, folks, take care. Remember, the universe is unfolding in time, not unraveling. Everything's perfect. Ciao.